know what time it is. Hi Dragons, this is Dragonsnips and welcome back to another art video. And today I am super excited for this. Tie-dyeing. I've done tie-dyeing when I was younger, but doing it again should be an experience. And I bought this pack a long time ago, back in Walmart, and you can tell that it's kind of ripping since it's been sitting around. I mean, I bought this last month in order to do like a Halloween shirt for my job, but I didn't get a chance to do that, and it was already too late, and let's just do it for a video. But first, let's get these guys out of the package first, that way we can see what we have. Okay, so normally this isn't my setup, like how I would do it, but because, you can see my foot, how big this thing is, we're going to open it up on the floor because I don't really have any other space to open it up. So let's see what's inside. Okay, so here is pretty much all the colors that I have. I think I have some doubles. Black is the only color that I see in this pack. But I'm also okay. So I see two. Yeah, so I see two reds, two purple, two of these color turquoise. There's no green. I mean, there's a green, but there's only one green. I may not be using all of these colors, I may be using a few of them, especially my favorite color. It's just time to grab all of this material and move it to my art desk. That way. So, I will see you guys there. So here is the pile of wet clothes. All of them are here, all 5 of them. And gloves, well, I actually don't need those. They are going to go on the side. Nope, don't need them. So now I'm just beginning the process of dyeing all the clothes, and I don't know how black onto this one, I didn't even notice. So I'm just beginning, starting off with the blue, well, the long sleeve shirt first of all, with red, black, and blue, my favorite colors. Wrapping that up into a burrito, and pretty much catching the dye before I get to that squishy. So I'm just cleaning up my area, moving on to the next shirt. This is the first tank top. I was actually a bit worried about these clothes because I read somewhere that you actually need like 55% cotton or more in order for these to, I don't know about 55%, but they have to be more than 50. So I was a bit concerned. This shirt I had was just a tie-dye shirt that I picked up at Walmart, but the other two I didn't realize what the percentage of their like cotton is. When I looked, they were like 55, and I was really nervous about it. I wasn't sure if they were going to stick on or stay. So I made sure to kind of heavily place a dye on all of them and just wrap them up. Now, before I continue, this was supposed to be a rainbow. I accidentally grabbed the wrong color here. So that's like a yellowish green. It was supposed to be yellow, and it was already too late. I didn't want to dig around finding the yellow because I didn't have enough time. So I just like went ahead and just kind of kept the yellowish green. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of explain that. So I was just kind of really hoping that all the dye stayed in. I left them in there for 24 hours, and they actually stayed in there. So I'm actually here attempting to try to put a nebula onto the t-shirt. This way didn't work. Now I'm doing the light board here, and it actually worked this time. It was just a little bit funky. I didn't actually have my fabric pen at the time, so I had to do it with paint. So now it's time for the painting process. If you haven't really guessed it at this point, this tie-dye shirt was actually inspired by Moriah Elizabeth, a video a while back when she did the tie-dye painting on shirt thing, and I wanted to do something like that with my own character. So here I am, struggling to paint everything. You notice there are some jumps here and there. I thought I had recorded everything, but for some reason some shot got deleted, so you're not going to see the whole painting process. I've actually learned a lot throughout the painting process. This is why it took me forever to actually upload this video, because this is why. This turned out to be one of my favorite out of the majority of them. But this is not my top favorite one. out of all of them. That actually ended up being the last artwork on this video, but we'll get to that eventually. So now I'm just kind of touching up a few things here, adding a bit more detail to a certain area. Just wanted to make this look nice. I eventually added shadow underneath her because some paint did kind of got out of the line where I wanted it to be after this part, after I'm done adding. Or I added the outline next. I believe I added the outline next after I'm done filling everything in. But, okay, so I added the outline first. I actually don't really like this method. I mean, it's easier, it's a lot easier. But I don't know if it will stay. That's the problem. I don't know if it will stay. Now moving on to the next dragon, and that's Misty. She's a brand new character. You probably seen her on the channel. If not, this is your first time seeing her on the channel. She's my snow dragon. I don't know why I zoomed in. So just like the last one, I paint her in just like the last character. Completely paint her in so that way I just want to just like the last time, I'm just painting her in like the last character, but I think I did a little bit different this time. At first I did kind of went over it with the paintbrush over and over again, because that's how it worked the last time. I didn't want to use a dotting tool because I used it the last time, and I'm just like, why would people want to use this? This is suckish. But I ended up using it later in this, and I actually wish I did it at the very beginning instead of just kind of layering upon layers in this character. I don't know, because it would have been so much helpful. Now, the one thing I wish I did was color in her muzzle, and then added the white areas like the white or blue color that I wanted. Misty's original design wasn't like this. She was actually a wyvern, but I changed it to this, and I actually really like it. So I'm just kind of filling out her tail, adding the bluish white to the big fluff. Or yeah, there we go. So I'm just filling that part of it in. There's a few areas that are like with the color, her chest piece, her muzzle, and her ears, but I didn't get her ears until like off camera. I didn't even outline her on camera either. I did that after I completed her. But everything else is done with her. She's completed. I used puffy paint for her eyes because I didn't feel like pouring out a bunch of white paint just to kind of fill in the eyes. So I just used puffy paint that I had lying around. Just kind of going ahead and filling it in so that way it's thick enough. So that way I'm just hoping it doesn't wash out. I don't know how fabric paint on shirts really work. So the puffy paint, and I'm trying to fill it in. But here I go using the ball pen, like this tool, and I realized here I should have used it at the very beginning because it was so much easier, so much less time consuming. I was able to fill in everything without a problem, and she was perfectly good. Now, I didn't really completely fill it in on the body because I felt like she was good enough. But I'll probably go back later on and fill it in. Now, you may not recognize these two, but if you do, these were the twins from my paint palette video. They have a new design now. I didn't really like the design that I had for them at the beginning. So I went back and revamped the design. I really wanted them to look like dragon bats. So yeah, this is what they actually look like now. And I'm really happy. There are a few changes that I make in this painting. Like for the brother, some of his colors I change later on. Now this one turned out to be my least favorite out of all of them. I was really hoping that this one would turn out to be the one that I like, the one that would be, well, pop out from the rest. It's not the colors, mind you, it's just the final results that ended up happening when I was attempting to outline. I mean, it would have been fine if I didn't kind of go heavy on the puppy paint. You'll see as the video goes on. So, the sister, Renee, it's kind of like a pinkish, not pinkish, a kind of like a purplish color. Kind of fitting for Halloween. That's why the shirt is the Halloween shirt that I call it, with the orange and black. Now, the colors of her wings, it's a little bit too dark when I realized it. So I do later on go back and lighten it, because her wings, her tail, and her like the facial marking are this color. And so I actually decided to use the same blue that I used on Misty on the brother with his fur coat that he has. So that's the same thing, but like all the other colors are different. Now, as you will see, I believe here, whoops, wrong color, I used kind of like a bronze gold here for the tail and the rest of the body. I ended up hating it. I actually really did hate it. Now, this is the lighter color of that same purplish gray color. I didn't kind of fill it all in because I didn't want to go back over the wings and stuff. I'll do that again later. I'm just painting on the first layer so that would be easier to actually use the ball pen to kind of paint on this. Sorry that you can't see the rest. So here I go, filling in the face as I'm slowly but surely not realizing moving it out of frame. Puffy paint come back, more paint to certain areas, and a colorful quit for the day. Now using a bigger ball pen, just like the piece that I grabbed from my clay sculpturing tools, had a bigger thing, so it was easier to actually cover an entire ground. This one took me hours to do because of how big this section is. It's just it's just like a glob of paint just going everywhere. Now I went in with a smaller, and I went in and just filled out the rest of this piece with the ball pen. And after I'm done completing this side, I went with the others, and I'll see you in just a few minutes. Here I actually still use the brown gold color for Draft, which is his name, in parts that needed the color. I don't change it until a bit later on in the video. I think after I'm done with filling out here, the first layer, I actually go ahead and just continue using the blue here, filling it out the last time, and I went back and just do the tail and the face and part of the wings. So now I'm putting that blue in like I was supposed to, and I put that for the face, the horn, the wings, everywhere on Draft. The wings, the face, the horn. And once I'm done with that, I believe I moved on with the outline of the characters after I fixed that one area on Draft tail. And actually, I don't think I recorded the horn. I think I did that off camera. I went in, filled in other places on the sister. Actually, I did do the horn. Now time for the outlining, and this is where I actually kind of messed up on this artwork. I think I was just putting a little bit too much pressure on the bottle, that too much liquid came out, so it didn't turn out the way I wanted. But now here is the final art piece for this video, and I am happy how this turned out. This one actually absolutely have to be my favorite out of all of them, from my first to my last. So just like the last one, I'm just using the brush to kind of fill in empty space. That way it will be a lot easier to put in the dotting tool first, instead of using the dotting tool first. I just found it easier to do it that way, with the surface to kind of grip onto. So everything in this art piece is black, except for a few things. There is a pop of colors on this, but everything is black in a way. So what I got really inspired to do this piece is just a shirt. It was really reminding me of Idris in the Circus from Star Stable. That's where these two characters are from. I've actually done Idris on my channel before, so this isn't the first time you've seen him. And it may not be the last time you'll see him on my channel. It'll just be for a while now. So I'm just adding that pop of color. The purple on the hat is a little bit too dark. I do lighten it up later. And I do go back with the white puffy paint and add white to areas that needed it, like the mouth and the glove. Filling in the tent behind Idris and Z. I forgot to add a detail to the circus, just a plain bit of colors. Once I've filled in all the necessary colors, I go back with the dotting tool, and yes, off camera I did fill in his skin tone. I did lighten it up a bit, covering his eyes because I didn't like where it was. So I'm just filling in everything with the dotting tool, and this took me hours to do. It was a long time to actually fill the thing in, especially the black color. Well, the black grayish color. That took me hours to do, a lot more than all the other colors did. Because it was so much. Both Idris and Z are a bit of a darker blackish grayish color in the game. Well, Idris's jacket and hat are pretty much this, like a darker black than Idris. I mean, not Z, Idris Z. Is there like any darker black out there? Colors out there? But I didn't want to mix like a darker black because that would have been harder to see, so I just kept them the same colors. You can see my arm pop in because it was kind of hurting my back to kind of lean forward to kind of paint this. And it was just it was a consuming process to do. So, yeah. It's time to move on to the main for a brief second because I've actually did it on one day, and the next day I had to finish this piece up before getting it into my editing program. So after the front of the mane is done, I did a little bit of the tail and the back mane. I went ahead, filled in the white areas a little bit more, make sure they were a bit darker, well, not darker, a bit more filled in. And then kind of filled in the tent, which I thought would have took me a long time, but it actually didn't take me that long. It was pretty easy to do, unlike the entirety of the characters. So, yeah, I just filled them in like normal. It was easy, it was pretty simple, and it was relaxing, unlike the painstakingly that it did with the characters, because that actually hurt my hand. It was starting to cramp by doing that all the way. So once I was done, I did a little bit details on top, filled those in, make sure that they are just thick boys. Make sure that I hope nothing washed out. Lighten up this area because it was a little bit too dark. I actually did it off camera, mixing paint together. Then I went ahead, like fixed the areas, and finally went ahead and did the mane and tail, because they absolutely needed it. I almost forgot about them, actually. I almost forgot about doing these. I was about to kind of leave it off there, but I remembered and I filled them in, like the rest. And again, it didn't take me that long to do. I kind of went and made a circle here, and that was it for that. Now time to add the black outline. This time I wasn't heavy-handed with this. Actually, I did this first before my twins, so I don't know why I was a bit heavy-handed with that one and not this. Flipped it over. You could barely kind of see it, but you can still see it. I made a mistake over around the neck area, but I caught it just a little bit. Did his face, and everything is all fine. I didn't like a nose, but turned out good.